At 15 years of age, I realized something was up in our society. My mind couldn't reach too much further than that concept because I didn't know too many words. But I knew something just wasn't right. I want to talk to you today about the realization that happened to me at the age of roughly 14, 15 years of age. Welcome to the Foundations for Elevation Station. My name is Leon Meredith and I'm 48 years young. I feel good, like James Brown in that movie. He was putting it down, wasn't he? At 14 or 15, I used to hang with some groups of friends and used to play video games. And I used to listen to them joke around a bit because, shooting that type of, indirect little insults and jokes was never my thing. And quite ironically, I was falling out with members of these friendship groups because they would make snide comments and try to disguise them in the form of a joke. All my life, I always would get into small interactions, physical altercations with, some members of friend groups that I would hang around where they would, I guess, be feeling some insignificant force inside themselves that would drive them to say certain things that would, they would mask. And it wasn't the fact that what they may say bothered me. It was the fact that, man, I'm a good guy. I'm a good dude. I am your friend. And I wouldn't say anything to rile you up or anything to poke negatively, to try to joke around with you. It was always, I'm here to support, and let's talk about something that's, informational, that will help guide us in this life we live. But too often I was seeing that the totality of many of the friends I was hanging around thoughts was just a place I was trying to leave from. Let's have a good time, let's party, let's laugh. So it was like the intellectual and the seeking of knowledge side of me, it didn't get nurtured. And I slept into a life of periodically trying to find a comparable lady to soothe me, to wait for the weekend and have a 40 ounce of Old English beer. I was an avid sports player, but I didn't take it seriously because of a few reasons. But I knew something else was, like, the truth was being concealed. So as I grew and I got to later years of high school and I went to Tri-C Community College, I started to expand my ability to learn. So my vocabulary began to take strides, and I understood more of what was going on in our society, in our world. And it was hard for me to connect on even the simplest level with most of the people from my community. It was like, sometimes it's like I was talking a different language, and the rumor was with the so-called, cool crowd, most of them was just like, oh man, he just be talking. And I'll be trying to expand, and metal sharpens metal, and you know that old scenario, old adage, iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. That was my method to try to upgrade and sharpen, but it was foreign to the environments I used to rotate in. So it kind of drugged me into a form of isolation. Until one day I met the Nation of Islam. When I met the Nation of Islam, so much turned on. It was a guy who I don't believe was a guy at all. I think he was an extraterrestrial. I'm quite sure of it. We walked together for 2 years in incarceration in the federal institution, and he wasn't human. His characteristics was just, he was on another level. And he was teaching me so much about myself. And a lot of it was going right over my head. Like, man, he believed in me. He said, man, you gonna be a hell of a leader, man. He like, you don't even understand, man. He like, look at him. You see him over there? Tell me something about him. Like, man, he used to tell me, tell me more about him. How does he treat his kids? Like, he used to just be asking me, and I would just be telling him whatever's come. He was like, man, look, now let's go meet that dude. And he'll be like, you see, you was right, man. He was like, you don't even see what's going on, do you? I used to let it just go over my head. He was right. One could say I wasted time. I used to always think at that point, what am I going to do with all this knowledge? What am I going to do for my community, my family? So I was urging my soon-to-be ex-wife to join me on this course of spirituality, upliftment, upgrading of who we are. But it was distasteful for her. Boring. It wasn't exciting. How many of you live a life that you couldn't imagine not having the excitement that you are living right now? And what is it adding up to? Me, I knew it. It wasn't about getting shiny things. Even though at different points in my life, I acquired different shiny things. And I must say that it just brought too much attention. It did. It brought so much attention that all the genuineness in people that tried to rotate with me was null and void. It was not there. It was like they were soulless beings. It just kind of made me remember, like, it's like what's going on now. It's if we are not genuine, if it's not real, it's business. So let's handle business. It's very important for people to realize that with gifted people, your intentions are clear. Your soul is evident right in front of us. You're not hiding anything. I do all I can not to expose you. It's so easy to, especially my sisters, black women, you are so readable. you are the easiest to read of any types of people I ever met. Because you wear your emotions on your sleeves. It's so easy that y'all can't hide much of nothing. It really is. I don't know. I meet so many ladies and most of them just be bewildered. Like, what the heck? Yeah, this is the kind of job you do. Matter of fact, it's a career, and you've been, it's so much that could be heard in your voice, your unspoken communication. It's like the way you raise your children. It's all there. It's all there. You can listen and hear how you talk to your children, how you see, all this has become a focus in my life. What do we do with so many dysfunctional behaviors in our culture? How do we continue to go forward with so many dysfunctional foundations that we think is stable? We want to keep riding and going forward when our footing is effed up. How can we? We are so void of having accountability and opening the door to accountability, my sisters. It's no way that I can convince our ladies to have accountability without feeling the heat from their hate. So I'm the one. If somebody got to do it, let it be the man that can hold that weight. Cause what the hate that y'all got, that it don't even weigh nothing. It don't weigh nothing. For real, it just doesn't. Send your dude over here. Like all them words, whatever you got to say, you just interrupting other people. You interrupting the development of other ladies. Believe in your children, lady. You know how you live in your life. It has become cool. It has become fair seeming. No, I'm gonna do something about it. And this iteration of this generation, this is about to cease and desist. And I'm not saying, oh, men are perfect, but our ladies, you've been developed so greatly. You at a point that we need to get you in line. Like, come on now. We had no gutter balls. Ladies, y'all have been handed life on a platter. Easy mode, especially black women. Society has made it possible for you ladies to live on easy mode, just all the way through. I don't care. Ask the older women. You ain't gotta believe me. Ask Candace Owens. Like, Candace Owens, for real, she really, giving some adjustments for you ladies, man, as I do. Something needs to be done. And I'm gonna do my best to do it with a degree of love, compassion, empathy. But I'm not letting it go. Because accountability must be had. And that's one of my missions. This life, yeah, we can enjoy some, but how many of us gonna tie our boots on tight, strap on that seatbelt, cock that joint, and make a difference for, our environments, for our culture? Why would we continue to live life silently? Silence is worse than violence. Churchgoers. Yeah, black church, other church. Silence is worse than violence. Let's get out here and change our people. Or we gonna shame them. Gonna shame them into a corner. That's what we did for black men. You gotta do this. Well, let's return the favor. It's time we return the favor. Cause ladies, this is the reason it's hard to find men, because it's so easy for men to succumb to their weakness. Number one, we're weak. Sexual desires. Most men are weak, and so many ladies are accessible. If ladies wasn't so accessible, they have looked for a decent lady. Like, man, let me just get a decent lady. But men, we try to deal with decent women, but it's like the old rules and new rules all in one. It's like, I got a big bag, but you a man and you supposed to, man, you got all this money and you, it's like so confusing when we deal with ladies. Like, hey, you used to cook for me, you know, you take care of things. How am I benefiting from this interaction? Like, it's so confusing, ladies. I'm a man, and I would love to form new rules on dating. Every woman I meet, it's like, ain't no old rules. I don't care what you're talking about, some, you know, religion and, you know, all this stuff. Look, we gonna make some rules between us. We can do it now, you have a bad time, but don't try to hit me with, this the way it's supposed to go. Nah, that ain't what it is. New rules between you and the person. I'll leave it at that because I'm going off course a little bit. I will make a difference in so many levels. Foundations of the future need to be set. And I agree to serve. Universal Soldier.